I was 28, broke, and alone in a city I'd only moved to for a job I no longer had. After weeks of rejection letters and empty applications, desperation pushed me to take whatever I could get. That's how I ended up behind the front desk of a rundown roadside motel, a decaying stopover 30 minutes outside the city limits. It was a lonely place, an ugly beige building squatting next to a boarded up diner, surrounded by nothing but miles of cracked asphalt and silent woods. It was my first full night alone on shift, and the motel felt like it was holding its breath. The neon vacancy sign buzzed weakly outside the glass doors, casting a sickly red glow into the lobby. Most of the night, it was dead quiet, save for the hum of the ancient soda machine behind me. The guests who checked in early looked tired, drained travelers with blank stares, but one woman stood out. She was pretty, but her face was pale and tight with fear. She kept glancing over her shoulder, flinching at every sound. Her hands trembled as she handed me her ID, and she rushed through the check-in like she couldn't get away from the counter fast enough. She didn't smile, didn't make small talk, just grabbed the key and disappeared down the hallway. Hours crawled by. I sat at the desk, watching the empty highway through the glass doors. The only movement outside came from the flickering streetlight and the occasional tumbleweed of trash blowing past. Then he walked in. I hadn't seen a car pull up, hadn't heard a single sound before the door opened. He was tall, lanky, with hollow cheeks and sunken, bloodshot eyes. He looked wrong, like his face didn't quite know how to form expressions anymore. His voice was hoarse when he asked how much the rooms were. "We've got plenty available. Do you want me to check you in?" He hesitated, his eyes darting behind me, staring at the wall where the room keys hung in neat rows, each one dangling from its brass tag. "No thanks," he muttered finally and slipped out the door. I turned just in time to see nothing, no headlights. No car leaving, nothing but the black, endless stretch of highway. A cold prickle ran down my spine. I stared out the glass for a long time, scanning the parking lot lit only by our neon sign. He was gone, vanished into the dark. Time dragged on until the ringing of the desk phone jolted me upright. It was the woman from earlier. Her voice was shaking so hard I could barely understand her. There's someone outside my door. He's just standing there. He won't leave." My stomach dropped. I bolted out from behind the desk, my shoes pounding against the linoleum, the sound echoing through the empty hallways. The cold night air hit me as I sprinted across the parking lot. The woman's room was at the far end. Her curtains were half drawn, and I could see movement through the gap, a shadow slipping out of view as I approached. When she opened the door, her face was pale as death. "He didn't say a word," she whispered. "He just stood there, staring." I asked for a description, and she told me exactly what I already knew. Tall, hollow-eyed, gaunt. The same man. I asked if she wanted me to call the police. She shook her head fiercely. "No cops, please. I just need to get through tonight." I didn't press her. Maybe I should have. The night stretched on. I sat at the front desk, every creak of the old building putting me on edge. At one point, I swore I saw a figure standing just beyond the glow of the parking lot light, but when I blinked, it was gone. Around 3 a.m., I heard it, a crash, then another. The sound of furniture slamming into walls, echoing through the halls. My heart hammered in my chest as I grabbed the desk phone, but I froze, listening. A muffled scream cut through the night. I dropped the phone and ran. Her door was wide open, swinging gently. Inside, the room was chaos. A lamp lay shattered on the floor. The bed had been pushed against the wall, and in the corner, the woman was backed against the dresser. The man loomed over her, blocking every way out. "Hey!" I shouted, my voice cracking. He turned slowly, his head twitching unnaturally as his bloodshot eyes locked on me. His lips curled back in a snarl, and for a split second, I saw something feral in him, something inhuman. He lunged. I stumbled back, but instead of attacking me, he barreled past, a blur of ragged clothing and raw fury. He bolted out the door, across the lot, and disappeared into the tree line beyond the highway. The woman was sobbing, trembling uncontrollably. "Lock the door," I whispered, helping her up. I ran back to the desk and called 911 with shaking hands. When the police arrived, their flashlights swept over the parking lot, the hallway, and the broken room. They found nothing, no car, no sign of where he'd gone, but they found something else. A key was missing from the wall, the spare key to her room. He'd stolen it. That's when the truth came out. The man wasn't some stranger. He was her ex-husband. She was running from him, terrified of the chaos he carried. She hadn't wanted police involvement, hoping he'd just go away, but he hadn't. He'd come for her. And if I'd been even a few seconds later, God knows what would have happened in that room. I stayed at that motel for 3 more months, but every night after, I felt like someone was watching me from just beyond the glow of the neon sign. Some nights I'd wake up in my apartment to creaks on the stairwell, or I'd see movement in my rearview mirror on empty streets. I don't know if it was him. I don't know if he ever got caught. But I do know this. Some people disappear into the woods because they want to. Others vanish because they know exactly where they're going. And I still wonder if one night I'll hear a knock at my door and find those same hollow eyes staring back at me.